On the vlog today, I'm gonna this sweet G-Shock. When I look at this watch, to me it kind of looks like, so I'm gonna keep everything really, really black, and we'll take it from there. So I've been tinkering around. Camera is Sony with a 90mm lens strobe with like a 10-degree grid pointing straight down, and that's sort of lighting up the top and then making a nice sort of hot spot in the shadow underneath the watch. And more step, I've got a big sheet of diffusion paper with a light behind. In my excitement to show you all the lights that I have set up, I actually forgot about one of the most important ones, and that's the light that's actually illuminating the face of the watch. For that, I'm just using like a Canon Speedlight handheld. So pushing the button with this hand and then, you know, flashing the front of the watch with this hand. SEO website and see what the professionals use when they photograph this watch, and I'll just set the time to a couple minutes before that, and then by the time it's the right time. So next time you see me, it will be in Lightroom, and I will show you what I got. Okay, we are in Lightroom now, and as you can see, I've got a whole bunch of different images to choose from. Each image is slightly different because of the handheld flash. Now, if I had a fourth strobe and another light stand, I would have attempted to capture everything in camera, but since I was a little bit limited by gear, this is the process that I've had to go through. Now, I've narrowed it down to these three images. With this first image, I really like the ring around the bezel here. I think this highlighted edge looks really great. With this second image, I like the structure of the watch itself, so I'm not super worried about the face, just the actual body of the watch. And then I also like this shadow and then the glow of light beneath the watch. And then with this third image, I think that the watch face turned out really great. So the hour and the minute hand are both pointed in a really aesthetic direction, and everything is super clean and tidy. So I will open these three files up in Photoshop, blend them together, and show you what I got. Okay, here we are in Photoshop, and I'll share with you some of the sorcery that happened behind the scenes. First things first, I made a layer mask around the watch so that I could edit the background independent of the watch itself. So with a curves layer, I increased the power of the spotlight shining down on the watch, and then with another curves layer, I blacked everything out so that it looks more like that alien object floating in space. Using a hue saturation layer, I pulled out some of the warm glow, and then using a curves layer, I brightened up the watch itself. The first layer that I blended in is that ring around the bezel, and you can see what it looks like here. And then the second layer blended in is the watch face with the hour and the minute hand that I was looking for. Now, in my opinion, the key to an expensive looking photo is dust removal. So I spent a couple of hours with the clone tool and the healing brush tool, and you can see that I removed a whole bunch of the dust and the imperfections. Now, this was a brand new watch, but it still had its share of Mars, and I spent the time to get rid of all of that. With the watch looking clean and tidy, I then shifted my focus to some global adjustments, and using another curves layer, I brightened everything up. Using another hue saturation layer, I flattened the color of the image, and then finally with a gradient map, I added some more punch and some sepia to the highlights. I think that looks really great, but as one final little tweak, I added a gradient and gave it a bit of a fake glare on the glass, and you can see that coming in. So there's the final product. I hope you like how it turned out. I hope you like the video. If you have any questions about the process or any requests for what I photograph next, let me know in the comments below, and I will be sure to get back to you. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.